Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Lovina S. Biros, your teacher in ICT 10. Our topic today is parts of motherboard. But before that, let's have a short activity or review from our past lesson. Review. Identify the following. I'll give you a minute to answer this following questions. 1 to 5. So at least 1 minute to answer the following questions. Last 30 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Okay, time's up. So let's answer this. Review. Number 1. A type of computer keys that have slim and cool looking appearance. The answer is? Okay, slim cases. Good job. Next, number 2. A type of tower keys are designed for high-end system. The answer is full tower case. Awesome. Next, number 3. A type of computer case that were designed to lay flat on the desk. Okay, very good. The answer is desktop case. Number 4. A form factor to desktop computer cases, motherboard, and power supplies. So it is the standard of the desktop cases. So the answer is, good job, ATX cases. Number 5. Give 3 things we look for an ATX cases. The answer is size, cooling, and the looks. So who got 5? Good job, everyone. Next, let's have a analysis. Why we need to understand the parts of motherboard? Why it is important to learn the parts of motherboard? Or why it's just we need the ask na lang what is the function of motherboard? Okay, the answer is understanding the parts of a motherboard is crucial because it's like having a blueprint to build, fix, and troubleshoot computer efficiently, ensuring that all the pieces fit together correctly because all the things, all the components inside and outside the system unit is connected to the motherboard. It empowers to make informed choices when buying a computer components, potentially saving you money and open doors to tech-related job opportunities. In a nutshell, it is the key to unlocking the world of computers and technology. Again, all the components or technology has a motherboard. So before we start the parts, again, let's define the function. Define and give the function of motherboard. Motherboard. Number 1, it is also called a main board of a microcomputer. So we have different types of computer, and all of them has a motherboard. Next, motherboard allocates power and allows communication to the CPU, the RAM, and other electronic components of computer. So all the things or all the peripheral inside and out of the system unit is always connected to motherboard. So it gives power or electricity or distribute the power or electricity to all devices or components. Next, number 3. This is another type of motherboard. Built-in video card, sound, and modem. So it is also a cheaper version of motherboard. So the problem of built-in, like laptop, has a motherboard that has built-in video card, sound card, and modem, is it is not upgradable. Okay? You need to change the motherboard to upgrade. So next, motherboard, ATX, micro ATX, and mini ITX. These are the example of types of motherboard. So next this is a picture of the parts of motherboard. The first part that we will discuss is the AGP. AGP slot or accelerated graphic port. So this is the slot we insert our AGP adapter or video card adapter. Designed for video card and 3D acceleration. It is the shortest slot on the motherboard, introduced by Intel in 1997. So let's imagine you're playing a video game on your computer and the graphics start to look really slow and choppy. Like a slideshow. Parang nag-hang yung inyong computer. Then when the AGP slot comes into play, it's like a special high-speed highway just for your graphics card. You take your old slow graphic card out and put a new super fast one into AGP slot. It's like upgrading your car engine. Now, your games run smoothly and the graphics looks fantastic. All thanks to the speedy AGP slots, making your graphic card work at its best. So when you change it, it's like upgrading your car. Okay, to make it super fast. So the images and the slideshow, for example, or also the games, is like a smooth. Okay? Hindi siya nagiging choppy or hindi siya nag-hahang or nag-slow down. Next is number 2, ATX power connector. ATX power connector connects a computer power supply. Its largest connector in a motherboard. It can have 20 to 24 pins. So let's have a scenario, short scenario. Imagine the ATX power connector as the plug for your computer. When you turn on your computer, this connector provides the electricity needed to make everything work. So it gives electricity to all the components that attach to the motherboard. It's like plugging in your phone charger to power up your phone. But for your computer instead, this connector ensures your computer has the energy it needs to start and run all the parts smoothly. So, for example, the ATX power connector, a power connector is from the connector from the power supply. So, pag nasira yung power supply, automatic apektado yung ating motherboard. So, mawawalan ng kuryente yung ating motherboard and all the peripherals affected. Next, capacitor. It's a bit like a battery that stores energy in a form of electrostatic field. It consists of two plates of conductor and dielectric insulator. So, it's like, science na kasi merong electrostatic field. So, para saan ba si capacitor? So, capacitor is like a water bucket with a hole. When you fill the bucket, it's like charging the capacitor, it stores energy. So, just like a water filling the bucket, when you need the energy, you can release it all at once, like tipping the bucket to pour out the water quickly. So, parang tinapon, nung nag-ipon ka ng energy or nung tubig, tapos bigla mo siyang itatapon. Okay? So, bigla mong itatapon yung energy rin dun sa mismong motherboard. Capacitor are like quick energy reservoir in electronics, storing and releasing electrical energy when needed. So, for example, kailangan ng mahina yung kuryente na nagpo-flow doon sa system unit. And syempre, di ba nga, kailangan si motherboard is siya yung nagsusupply, nagdi-distribute ng kuryente sa all the peripherals inside and outside the system unit. So, ang purpose ni capacitor, siya yung magbibigay ng energy dun sa kulang na energy or electricity dun sa other component. So, the reservoir in electronics storing and releasing electrical energy when needed, which helps stabilize voltage and the power devices. Next tayo, number 5, the CMOS battery. What is the meaning of CMOS? Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Is a component that stores all the BIOS information such as the system, time, and date, as well as the hardware setting. So, anong version? Kasi maraming klaseng bilog na battery. Ano yung itatanong natin? For example, we want to buy another CMOS battery for our motherboard. So, this is the version CR2032, lithium coin cell. So, think of the CMOS battery in a computer like a little helper that remembers important information, even when the computer is turned off. So, for example, imagine you have a magical notebook where you jot down all your secrets. The CMOS battery is like a magic ink that keeps your notes and safe readable, even it is turned off, yung computer natin. Even it's closed. Even if you close the notebook for a long time, so when you turn on your computer back on, it can quickly remember things. So like time and date and setting and other important stuff. Just like opening your magical notebook and finding your secret intact. So meaning to say, si CMOS battery, it keeps the date, the time, date and time, and the setting of your computer intact, even your computer is turned off. So, for example, hindi na updated yung ating date and time, meaning to say, may problem na yung ating CMOS battery. Diba, every time na turn on tayo ng computer, meron siyang date and time, at updated siya. So, your computer is not updated, just the time na you need to buy another battery. Number 6, CPU socket or processor socket. It composed of pins that secure and hold the processor in place. So, we all know that CPU is the brain of computer. Think of the CPU socket like a special slot on a game board. The CPU, which is like the main player in the game, needs to sit in the slot to play. When it's time to upgrade, the CPU slot switching players in a game. You carefully remove the old player, the old CPU, from the slot and put the new one in. As long as the new player, CPU, fits the slot in a CPU socket, the game your computer can continue with a better, faster player. So the CPU socket is the game board slot where you can switch out players to improve your game, computer performance. So CPU socket is like a game board, okay, na pwede mong palit-palitan yung player, yung pinaka-main player. So, for example, if you want to upgrade your system unit, you want to change the CPU, so you just need to open the CPU socket and carefully remove the CPU, then put the new one to the CPU socket. Okay? So that's the purpose of the CPU socket. It is just a game board or the house of the CPU. Number 7, heatsink. So, yung heatsink po is yan yung nasa ibabaw ng microprocessor or ating CPU. It is a metallic hardware components that absorbs heat from the microprocessor chip by dissipating it into the air to prevent device overheating. So, ang purpose niya is, di ba merong fan, exhaust fan sa ibabaw? This one. Wait lang. Ito po. Is merong fan. Okay? CPU fan ang tawag dyan. Then, yung nasa ilalim, ito ay heatsink. So, dahil nga, it's the brain of computer, syempre laging umiinit yan. Di ba nga pag masyado tayo, for example, sa mga exam, or nag-iisip tayo ng masyadong matindi pag-iisip natin, or iniisip natin, umiinit yung ulo natin. Yung temperature ng ulo natin ay umiinit. Like sa system unit or sa CPU, is pag umiinit siya or masyado siyang mag-process, umiinit, then, so si heatsink is i-absorb niya yan, tapos may butas-butas yan, i-distribute niya yung init. Okay? Merong dito sa side, merong pataas, at meron doon sa kabilang side. Imagine your computer is like a busy kitchen, where the stove, the CPU, the stove is the CPU, gets really hot when cooking. The heatsink is like a chef hat that sits on the top of the stove to absorb and spread the heat, making sure the stove doesn't get too hot and cook everything poorly or even break. So in your computer, the heatsink keeps the CPU cool, helping it work smoothly without overheating. It's like having a chef's hat to keep things in the kitchen that's the right temperature. So, the purpose of the CPU heatsink again is to dissipate the air from the CPU or the heat from the CPU to prevent the CPU from overheating. Next, IDE connector or Integrated Drive Electronic Connector. It is used to connect hard drive and optical devices to a motherboard with a long and a flat ribbon. So, yung long and flat ribbon, ito po yung itsura niya, yung kinoconnect natin kay IDE. Ngayon po, hindi na siya available sa mga bagong computer kasi ang ginagamit na po natin is sa SATA connector. Mamaya, ipapakita ko kung ano yung SATA connector. So, usually, ang nilalagay po dito is yung mga dating luma na mga floppy drive and also yung ating mga lumang hard disk drive. So, yun. Next tayo, number 9, inductor. Sana nakikinig pa kayo sa video na to kasi 20 minutes na. So, inductor consists of conductors such as wire and usually twisted into a coil. So, sobrang liit niyan. So, minsan, yung mga students ko is nahihirapan silang hanapin. Kasi minsan, isa lang, dalawa lang yung nandun sa motherboard. It generates a magnetic field when the current passes through it and stores the energy in the form of magnetic field. It is also known as the electromagnetic coil or reactor. So, ano purpose niya? So, imagine you're using a flashlight. When you turn it on, electricity flows from battery to bulb. Make it light. Now, think of an inductor like a little traffic cop. So, traffic cop daw si inductor for this electricity. It's a coil of wire that can resist changes in the flow of electricity. So, when you first turn on the flashlight, the inductor say, hold on. Let's not let's too much electricity through too quickly. So, parang pinapaalala niya na, hoy, huwag masyado yung mag-flow ng electricity dito, baka kasi masira yung component nandito sa part na to. So, wait. So, pinapabagal niya yung electricity. Okay? Pinapabagal niya yung electricity mag-flow do sa mismong component na yon. It is kind of slows down the start, so it's not too harsh on the bulb. But once the flashlight is running, the inductor lets the electricity flow smoothly, ensuring the bulb shines steadily. So in a simple terms, the inductor helps to control the flow of electricity, making your flashlight work better and last longer. So, para siyang, kasi minsan, di ba, pag nag-switch tayo, biglang yung electricity is magpo-flow fast dun sa motherboard. So, using the inductor, ang gagawin niya is, wait, stop! Mag-flow tayo ng smoothly dito sa part na to, dito sa motherboard na to, kasi baka masira yung component. Okay? Para hindi ma-shock yung mga component do sa motherboard. Next, number 10, a jumper. So, a jumper is a small metal connector that allows the computer to close an electrical circuit. It consists of plug that fits over the intruding pin and covered with a plastic box. So, ito po yung itsura ng ating jumper. Itong jumper pong ito is sobrang liit niya lang. Tingnan niyo yung daliri. Sobrang liit lang niya. Merong black, may red, or blue. Okay? A jumper is used to configure motherboard, hard drive, and other peripherals. So, this tiny jumper holds the electricity also. Kung alin yung magto-turn on or magto-turn off. Kung alin yung unang i-read or ano yung susunod na i-read. So, imagine you have a toy robot that sometimes moves too fast and you want to slow it down. There's a tiny switch inside the robot that controls its speed, but it's hard to reach. This switch is like a jumper on a computer motherboard. To change the robot's speed, you use a special tool to move the switch. So, si jumper is para siyang secret switch natin na nando sa motherboard or sa setting ng motherboard. By placing the tool on the jumper and move it to a different position, you can easily adjust the robot's speed without taking the whole things apart. So jumpers on a motherboard work similarly, allowing to make a small changes or adjustment without needing to completely reassemble the computer. So, using the jumpers, mababago mo yung setting ng inyong computer without removing the cords or yung mismong mga wirings dun sa system unit ninyo. Number 11, a memory slot is a socket that holds the RAM in a place. Adding RAM expands the built-in memory of the computer. So, we have memory slot. Most of the motherboard right now is merong 4 na memory slot at yung iba naman ay hanggang 2 na memory slot. So, depende kung anong type of motherboard ang bibilhin ninyo. So, think of it that your computer is like a backpack. And you have some books which are like the data. So, yung books is equivalent sa data. You want to carry. The memory slot is like a pocket inside the backpack where you can place this book. So, yung backpack daw ay merong mga pocket. Tapos, yung mga pocket na yon ay nilalagyan natin ng books as data. When you need to read or use the books, your computer can quickly grab them from his pocket. So, having more memory slot is like having more pocket in your backpack. So, yung parang si RAM ay parang quickly access the data. So, for example, meron ka nga daw backpack. Yung computer is like a backpack na maraming pocket. Then, yung mga pocket na yun is pwede natin lagyan ng mga books. So, for example, kailangan mo ng books it is quickly access. Okay? You can quickly get the book from the pocket. Okay? You can easily open the book from its pocket. So, ganun yung idea niya. Kung marami kang memory slot, marami kang pocket na pwedeng paglagyan ng data. So, memory slots help your computer store and access data quickly. Just like your backpack pockets help you organize and to get to your books easily. Number 12, North Bridge. It's a controller that interconnects with the CPU and controls the interactions with the memory. It's also known as the memory controller hub. Imagine you have a big company with different departments like sales, marketing, and production. The North Bridge is like the manager who helps them communicate and work together so smoothly. It's responsible for making sure the departments, so yun like CPU and RAM, can share information quickly and efficiently. So, mga microchips siya na memory controller pala. As a memory controller hub na kailangan isa siyang manager na dapat si CPU at si RAM ay maayos na makapag-exchange ng information to each other. So, when the customer order comes in, data from the hard drive, the North Bridge help the sales and production team, so yung CPU and the RAM, talk to each other effectively to process the order efficiently. It's like the traffic cop, keeping things moving smoothly in your company. So again, North Bridge is like a traffic cop between RAM and the CPU. Kaya, makikita ninyo yung North Bridge is usually malapit siya sa RAM at sa CPU. Number 13, the PCI slot allows the addition of PCI devices such as modem, network interface card, and sound card. PCI stands for Peripheral Components Interconnects. Imagine your computer is like a big puzzle, and the PCI slot are like a special slots in the puzzle board where you can plug in extra pieces. These extra pieces could be like a graphic cards to make your computer better at playing games, or a Wi-Fi card to connect to the internet wirelessly. So, PCI slots are where you attach these extra parts to make your computer do more cool things. So, meron nga tayo kanina sinasabi na may mga motherboard na built-in yung network card, modem, or video card. Pero, kung kailangan mo na gusto mo mag-upgrade, dapat meron siyang PCI slot. So, pwede natin palit-palitan depende sa pangangailangan natin at type of video card. Yung video card ba kailangan ninyo is pang graphics or yung video card na pang gaming? Okay? So the PCI slots are where you attach these extra parts to make your computer do more cool things. It's like adding extra features to your puzzle to make even more exciting and useful. Number 14. A PCI Express is an expansion slot that allows a computer to connect to one or more peripherals. It is considered as the standard internal interface and was approved on July 2002. Think of your computer as a car, and your graphic card is the speed booster. So, PCI Express is like a special high-speed road inside your computer. So, para siyang Caltex, SLEX, NLEX, yung PCI Express pala doon sa computer ninyo. When you plug your graphic cards in PCIe or PCI Express, it's like giving your car a super fast lane to zoom through. This makes games and other stuff on your computer run much faster and smoother, just like a speed booster for your computer. So, for example, gusto mo ng masyadong mabibilis na or mabilis mag-response ang inyong mga graphic cards. So, kailangan bumili kayo ng graphic cards na pwedeng i-connect natin do sa PCI Express. 15. A South Bridge. It is an Intel chipset responsible for input-output controller and other hardware components. It implements a slower capacity than the North Bridge, since the data from the CPU has to go through the North Bridge before it reaches the South Bridge. So, think of the South Bridge as a computer helper that manages everyday tasks like connecting your keyboard, mouse, or USB devices. So, ang South Bridge, kung ang North Bridge, ang kinokontrol niya or siya yung traffic cop ng CPU and the RAM, ito naman si South Bridge para siya sa mga input-output controller. For example, ito yung mga USB, the keyboard, the mouse. Okay, yun yung mga common na nilalagay natin doon sa likod ng ating system unit. It's like a traffic cop for your computer, ensuring all these things can communicate and work together smoothly. Just a traffic cop keeps things moving safely on the street. So, from the South Bridge, pupunta siya kay North Bridge. Next, SATA connector is an interface used to connect SATA hard drives, so computers, a motherboard. SATA stands Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. Again, what is the SATA means? Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. So, yung SATA po natin ay ito. Example ng SATA. Imagine a SATA connector like a plug for your computer hard drive. It's like plugging in a cable from your computer to a box that stores all your important files. So, ang hard drive is a safety box or parang drawer ng computer kung saan nakalagay doon yung mga files natin. This way, your computer can talk to the storage box and access your file whenever you need them. It's like connecting a power cord to a socket to get electricity. So, kasi nga, wala namang si hard disk ay alone. Nandun siya sa other side ng system case. So, wala siyang source ng electricity. So, pag kinonect natin, using a SATA connector, yung hard drive, so magkakaroon siya ng electricity, plus magkakaroon din siya ng communication inside the board. Okay? So, sorry. Ang electricity pala ay galing kay power supply. Pero, another thing is, dahil nga may naka-connect si SATA connector kay motherboard papunta kay hard disk, magkakaroon sila ng connection sa isa't isa. The SATA connector provides a pathway for data to flow between your computer and its storage drive, making everything work smoothly. Kapit lang. Next, a front panel connector. Controls the connection of the front panel components such as power switch, buttons, rest buttons, and LEDs. It consists of a light indicator, toggle, switches, and push button. So, si power front panel connector, pag nag-disassemble, then assemble, is kailangan, bago kayo mag-disassemble, is tandang-tandaan ninyo yung position ng front panel connector. Kasi hindi magbubukas yung system unit natin kapag iba-iba yung switch niya. Okay? So, minsan, before disassemble, pinapadrawing ko muna yung itsura ng system unit, ng motherboard mula kay front panel and also yung mga other wirings. Kasi si front panel, ang napaka-tricky niyan. Kasi iba, sa pins niyan, iba-iba yung nakalagay or designated. So, controls the connection of the front panel components such as power switch, yung sinasabi ko, yung pinipindutan natin or parang yung pinipindutan natin para mag-switch on yung ating computer. Reset button, and the LED. So, di ba, for example, pag binubuksan natin yung system unit, is may umiilaw na power button, tsaka yung light indicator ng hard disk drive na nagbi-blink-blink, na ibig sabihin gumagana yung hard disk drive natin. So, imagine your computer case is like a secret box with buttons and lights on the front. To make these buttons and light work, you need to connect them to the motherboard using the front panel connector, which is like a bunch of wire with specific labels. So, ito nga yung sinasabi ko na kailangan alam natin yung specific position nila. It's a bit like plugging in your TV remote control. You need to match the right button with the right slot. So when you press the power button on your computer case, it sends a signal through the front panel connector to the motherboard telling it to turn on. This way, you can see what your computer is doing from the outside of the box, just like using a remote to control your TV. Last. Okay. So, 40 minutes na tayo. Sana napanood ninyo po itong ating video na makakatulong sa inyong pag-aaral. 19. 4-pin or P4 power connector. It is used to connect the motherboard to ATX 12-volt sockets. It gives extra power support to the motherboard. So, let's imagine that a 4-pin connector and a motherboard like a light switch for your computer. When you want to turn your computer on, you press the power button. This 4-pin connector is like the switch that makes everything inside your computer start working. Just like flipping a light switch to make a room bright. It's tiny, but important part that helps your computer come to life when you want to use it. So, that's the function of 4-pin connector. So, these are the parts of the our motherboard. So, I hope ipapa-activity ko po ito sa inyo, the parts, so you can screenshot it and have a short exercise at your home. So, we can answer it in our school. So, if you have questions about this topic, again, you can PM me. You can have a direct message in Facebook or in our group chat to ask questions. I hope everyone watch this video para mas natutunan ninyo yung parts ng motherboard. Kasi yung parts ng motherboard is the source of all the learnings. Another source or isa siyang integral part ng ating mga topics. Kasi dito, halos lahat ay na-discuss ko kung anong mga function ng iba't ibang parts ng system unit. So, I wish you are happy that you listen to me and you learn a new stuff from our topic. topic. So, thank you for listening. Again, I'm Lovina S. Viros. See you in our next video. Thank you. Bye-bye!